Okay, let's dive into this. We're going to talk about a really cool concept, a master's wages. Now, when you hear the word wages, you probably think of a paycheck, right? Something you can hold in your hand. But in Freemasonry, the whole idea goes so much deeper. And our source material for this explainer, well, it breaks it down in a pretty fascinating way.
So that leads us to the big question, the one that frames this whole thing. In our modern, practical world, what are these wages, really? It's a question that cuts right to the heart of what the Masonic experience is all about. And you'll see the answer isn't simple. It's got a lot of layers.
The way our source material explains it is by splitting the answer into two totally different categories. Think of it like a tale of two payments. On one side, you have the concrete stuff. These are the absolute rights you get just for being a member. And on the other side, you have the intangible, those precious privileges you have to earn. We're going to look at both.
So let's kick things off with that first category, the concrete and tangible benefits. You could almost think of this as your first paycheck, the stuff you get right away, the immediate, practical value of your membership.
The second you become a member, these wages are yours. It's like a welcome package of rights. You can, of course, attend your own lodge, but you also get the amazing privilege of visiting other lodges, literally anywhere in the world. You get to witness these incredible, timeless ceremonies, and you unlock this huge library of Masonic knowledge and its amazing history.
And here's what's so cool about how our source talks about this right to visit other lodges. It's not just some formality. It's framed as a powerful wage, a real defense against loneliness. It's a promise that no matter where you go, you'll find a welcome and friends, even when you'd otherwise be totally alone.
That idea of community builds right into one of the most important concrete wages there is, the fraternity's support system, what's known as relief.
And we're not talking about some vague promise here. The source gets really specific. This is about direct, material help when a brother needs it most. Food on the table, help finding a job, warmth, encouragement. It's literally the strong arm of the brotherhood reaching out when one of its own is in real trouble.
This quote from the source just nails the philosophy behind it. Think about it. You don't buy home insurance because you expect your house to burn down. You buy it for the peace of mind. Well, Masonic relief is like that. The real wage is knowing that if disaster strikes, there is this powerful safety net ready to catch you.
And this is absolutely crucial. That safety net is comprehensive. It doesn't just cover the member, it extends to their family, to their widow and children if misfortune hits. I mean, you can't put a price on that kind of comfort.
But as real and valuable as all those concrete wages are, they're really just the beginning of the story. Our source makes it super clear that there's another, much deeper level of payment that a Mason can earn.
And that brings us to the second kind of wages, the ones that aren't a right, but are earned through getting involved, through service and leadership. You could say these wages come from the privilege of giving something back, not just getting.
And this path of service has its own unique rewards every step of the way. There's a real satisfaction that comes from serving on a committee, a special kind of joy in teaching new members, and a ton of personal growth that comes from stepping up into leadership roles within the lodge.
Now, when you get to the highest responsibility, leading the lodge as its worshipful master, kind of like its president, that brings a reward that's in a class of its own. The source calls it a special coinage. It's an inner, almost spiritual payment that's basically impossible to put into words, but it's something deeply felt by those who earn it.
But even beyond the satisfaction of leadership, there's what our source calls the ultimate wage, the one payment that is valued above everything else. We're talking about true fellowship and lasting friendship.
This is where the real magic happens. The lodge creates this unique space where all the labels from the outside world just fall away. It doesn't matter who you are or what you do for a living. A doctor and a ditch digger, a banker and a broom maker. Everybody meets on the same level, as equals.
And then there's this other powerful, intangible wage, this feeling of being connected to history. It's this incredible sense that you're spiritually linked with figures like George Washington and Paul Revere, that you're part of this unbroken chain that stretches all the way back through history, from the Boston Tea Party to the ancient builders' guilds of Rome.
You know, trying to describe this feeling of fellowship is tough. The source uses this beautiful, poetic language to try and capture it. It's delicate, almost ethereal, but at the same time, it forges this bond that is just unbelievably strong.
What it all comes down to is that the shared experiences, the shared values, they create something that's called the mystic tie. And it's this tie that really makes deep, genuine friendships possible. Friendships that probably never would have happened anywhere else.
So, let's bring it all together. A master's wages are the grand total of all these things. They're the sum of the tangible rights, like being able to visit any lodge and having that safety net of relief,
and the intangible privileges, like the joy of service and that amazing connection to history. But the greatest, most valuable coin in that entire payment? It's friendship. No question.
And you know, this whole Masonic idea of wages kind of pushes us to ask a much bigger question about our own lives, doesn't it? When it's all said and done, when we count up our own rewards, what's the currency that truly matters most?